What's up? It's NFL Week 16, and we are taking a first look at DraftKings Main Slate. We're going to look at the scoring, we're going to look at matchups, we're going to look player by player, and we're going to put together a first look lineup. Last week's first look did really well. Listen, we told you on the first look, Josh Allen is it. That one game, the game to end all the other games. Bills versus Lions lived up to expectations. So let's see if we can do another one. If there's another game like that this week that stands out that we can load up on, let's jump right into it. And of course, with these breakdowns, I like to start with the totals, the spreads, the team totals. So we can get a look at the whole overview of the slate. So I've got the DFS Army Domination Station optimizer loaded up on screen here. And let's take a look at some of these matchups here. And it starts off with Titans at the Colts. 42.5 pointer here. Lots going on. Titans are benching Will Levis after last week's debacle. And we're going to get Mason Rudolph. So I think that's a better version of the Titans team. Not that Mason Rudolph is great, but I think it's better. And then, of course, you got the Colts doing their thing with Anthony Richardson. And, he's always got that upside. So interesting game. Low total here at 42.5. Not super exciting. Next, we got the Bengals at home taking on the Browns. The Browns are benching Jamo here. It's over. The party's over. Turn the lights out. If Jamo was playing, this would be one of my favorite games to target this week. But with Jamo out, it's disgusting. And here's the thing with the Bengals. The Bengals are a team that, they've put up monster scores lately, but those have been competitive games. I do not expect a competitive game here. Therefore, I will be out on this one outside of Chase Brown, Sebro, who I will be on. But beyond that, I'm going to be out on Burrow and his pass catchers. Rams at the Jets. This one's actually kind of interesting. Jets at home. Aaron Rodgers showing last week that, he's in his last few weeks, maybe of his career, but certainly probably with the Jets. So he's going to style out there. Him and Devontae Adams continue to have fun. We were all over Devontae Adams last week. I did not really get much exposure to Aaron Rodgers, regretfully. But I actually think the Jets offense is playable here at home. The Rams are going cross country. They're not a great defensive team. So this one will be interesting. And the odds makers have it kind of close, which tells the tale. All right. In what probably has the most upside of any of the games, but also two really good defensive teams, we got the Eagles at the Commanders. I like this game, 45.5 point total. The Eagles are set at 24.5. Both these teams have pretty good defenses, but as far as exciting games that have some potential upside here, or at least competitive games, this is one of the few games on the slate that even really looks competitive. So we'll pay attention to that one for sure. Next, we got the Lions at the Bears. Oh my. Lions 7-point favorites, 48-point total. This one actually has the highest total on the slate. This could be an interesting game. I think this one has some real potential on both sides. So been on Caleb. He has his ups and downs. He's an exciting player, but certainly a rookie, and you're going to get your big misses with this team. But I'm going to be interested in this game quite a bit, actually. And, of course, on the Lions side, Jahmyr Gibbs is lock button with no Montgomery. So we're going to be starting our lineup with a different Jammy Gibbs. Jammy, not Jamo. Actually, we will be jamming again with Jammy. All right. I like it. All right. Cardinals. Next up, we got the Cardinals at the Panthers, 47-point total. Yeah, I don't know. Cardinals are an interesting team. This looks like a spot where, James Conner would be the star of the show. The Panthers side, they lose Xavier Legette most likely, which just increases the likelihood that, my man Adam Thielen will be heavily involved. So, Chuba Hubbard back and all that stuff. So we'll see how that one goes. Giants at the Falcons. The Giants are actively trying to lose these games. I don't even know. I don't think it'll be Drew Lock. I don't know if it's going to be Cutlets. I think it's going to be Doyle or Boyle or whoever the hell the fourth or fifth string quarterback is. The Giants are just out here trying to lose the game. So Bijan Robinson stands out as a smash, and even Algier in this one, as the Falcons probably come in here and destroy a Giants team that wants to lose the game. Next, we got the Vikings at Seattle, 42.5 pointer. Low total game. Seattle, not sure who the quarterback's going to be right now. Gino got the Q tag. It could be, I can't remember who the backup is. I know it. Oh, yeah. Howard, the guy who used to quarterback, I believe, the Falcons for a season or something like that. Sam Howell. But whoever he is, he's not good. And that's the most important thing. So this is a spot where, I'm looking at the spread going, that's a spread as if Geno's playing. I don't, so we'll see what happens there. But Geno definitely got a Q tag going on. Vikings, fine. I'm looking at maybe some Aaron Jones, maybe running backs from this game might have some interest. It's really interesting how it's so different this week from last week. Wait till we get to the last game. It's brutal. Patriots at the Bills, 46.5 point total game. Bills are set for 30.5 points. Listen, the Bills offense probably going to style here. They're probably going to put up a lot of points. Josh Allen, unlike, let's say, other quarterbacks, does not require a competitive landscape in order for him to smash. Certainly helped. Like last week, it was great. That's where you put up the 45, the 50, the crazy score. But Josh Allen will style even in a game like this. So, expect the Bills to put up lots and lots of points and expect the Patriots not to. All right. San Francisco at the Dolphins, 44.5 pointer. Neither team with a very high total. Notice the team totals are not that high. I mean, this game is interesting. Tua's been pretty good. So, he didn't have a great week on the road last week. Come back home here against San Francisco. I think there's some appeal to this game, some play to the over appeal, I think. Here, Waddle is hurt. That means that we'll probably see an extra wide receiver on Miami that we're not used to seeing. So we'll have to pay attention to that. Maybe Tyreek Hill gets some extra targets. Or maybe Waddle's not hurt. We'll have to find out. On the San Francisco side, Garendo's back and leading the backfield at the RB position. George Kittle stands out as a good play. So the game itself doesn't really pop for me. Finally, we got Jacksonville at the Raiders. Man, the Raiders look terrible with Des Ridder at QB last week. He's just not good. I don't know how else to put it. The dude is not good, right? And then you got the Jaguars here with Mac Jones. These teams are just terrible. Both garbage teams. It might produce some goodness just because both defenses are really terrible also. So we're going to have to keep it in mind, but that's a later in the week thought that I need to sift through. I'm not ready for that right this moment. A little too early in the week to start thinking about, games with a 39.5 point total, and I don't even know who the quarterbacks are. So we'll get to those. All right. So before I jump over to DraftKings and actually kind of go position by position, I like to give the old fantasy points per dollar look here on the domination station. The early week projections are not, accurate or anything, but I just like to see who's popping at the top of the list. And at quarterback, it looks like Kyler Murray once again will project really well. He always projects well and often disappoints. I like the price on Anthony Richardson. Caleb, there we go. Aaron Rodgers, can we do that again? So that seems like where we're going to be. Josh Allen priced up very intensely this week. It's going to be a tough one. Jalen Hurts, more reasonable. I like Jalen Hurts' price point at 7,800. So we'll see how that goes. Running back, let's just, of course, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon, Achane. And then, there's Bijan and Chase Brown. It's just going to be pricey to fit those guys in. So I actually kind of agree with the running back group here. Let's see if any wide receivers stand out. Jacoby Myers will be a lot better if it's anyone other than Des Ridder. Here we got Drake London. Yeah, nothing really popping too crazy. Josh Downs is interesting against the Titans. That could work. Keenan Allen's been really good. A little K-Shack, a little DJ Moore. So, a lot of value based around. And of course, Brian Thomas Jr. in a much better matchup. He's looked really good. So, we're going to pay attention to him. And then let's just see tight end. Yeah, Brenton Strange pop in at the top of the list. Okay. All right, let's jump over to DraftKings. And now we can go position by position and kind of just get a feel. We'll build a first look lineup, but we'll talk through some of these players, some of these spots, and just get our early feel going for DraftKings NFL Week 16. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, just a quick reminder, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to DFS Army channel for all these breakdowns. We've got a big week this week, double headers. We got extra games next week too. Christmas Day. There's Saturday games. There's games popping nonstop. I don't even know when the content's coming out. We'll get Bobby Wow, the Shark Lab, Josiah, Fling, and the whole DFS Army NFL crew will be popping on to break it down for us. So make sure to stick around, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to get all your daily fantasy sports content right here. All right, let's get started at the QB position. At the very top of the list, we got Josh Allen here, 8,700, coming off the smash game. We told you last week, load up on Josh Allen. There was a boner alert for him. I don't know how to emphasize it more. I actually wound up going 50% Allen, 25% Goff last week, and then 25% various others like Tua and Winston and some various others that really didn't work out that well. But man, did those Allen and Goff lineups work out nicely. So this is a little bit of a different spot for him because he is in a non-competitive matchup against kind of a mediocre New England team. Their Bills are at home. I still think he could style here. It's just not as standout of a spot. But I'll want some Allen exposure. But the price point, I'll give DraftKings credit for pricing him massively above everyone else. It's going to be hard to get to that. All right, next up we've got Jalen Hurts. And also, I think Jalen Hurts is very playable here. He's been, been great. The tush pushes. He's running for a lot of touchdowns. Last week, A.J. Brown kind of started to get involved, and Devontae Smith. They kind of got the passing game going a little bit last week. 290 yards passing. That was his biggest passing yardage number of the season. Let's see. That could have been the most this year. Yep. There's a 300. So second most of the year last week. It's good to see him heating up right ahead of playoff time. They need to get him going, not just tush pushing and leaning on Barkley, but rather he's got to get himself going, the passing game going. So good job for the Eagles getting that going started last week. This is a divisional rivalry, good defense. So I'll be interested in Josh Allen as well. Joe Burrow at home against Cleveland. I'm going to pass on that one. I don't really see Cleveland being competitive with Dorian Thomas as the quarterback, so I'm just going to pass on it. If it was Jamo, I would have been interested in both. This would have been the game of the week. I'm annoyed. Can you tell? That's my annoyed face. Jane Daniels, other side of that Eagles game. Yeah, that works too, by the way. Okay. Eagles got a good defense. Who cares? This guy's good. So definitely somebody I want to keep in mind for this week. Goff at Chicago, probably not the Goff game. Goff had his game of the year last week. Amazing. But it did kind of take them falling behind and a few other things. So I probably like Caleb a little more in this game. We'll just go with the cheaper guy. Darnold with the Vikings at Seattle. That could work. I mean, come to think of it, right? It could be okay. Darnold, not a super exciting quarterback most weeks. And I think Seattle might be a toasted team. So I'm not going to go there now. I need to see who the quarterback is going to be for Seattle. If it's, Sam Howell, then I'm out. I don't think they could be competitive with Howell in there. And I don't think that Darnold will put up a big number in a non-competitive matchup. Purdy's just okay against Miami. Not a great spot. Miami defense really good. Kyler Murray. Listen, you know what? I warned everybody about Kyler Murray last week. Murray chalk is bad chalk. I don't know who the chalk is now. It's too early in the week. But Kyler Murray, a much better spot here at Carolina. I do think this is also another spot where the running back should shine. I don't know that the Panthers can keep it competitive, but they have a better chance than some of these other teams. So I give them a reasonable chance of actually keeping it competitive. And that's where Kyler Murray could end up popping. So he's definitely going to be in my mix this week. Tua at home. Yes. Also, I don't mind it. Definitely put him in the mix for this week. Are we going to start this lineup with him? Probably not. Wow. Rough one for Tua last week. Threw it enough, but just could not complete anything. Yeah, May, no. Gino is a no. Aaron Rodgers, right? Big game last week. In his swan song of his career. No reason not to go out there and give it your all. 30 attempts. He got this monster score. It was just touchdowns, ran, scrambled. I think, that is not typical of what Aaron Rodgers does. And the Rams are a decent defense. The spot is good. I will have him in my mix this week, but not a ton of it. I'm actually going to start this lineup off with Caleb Williams. I know. Caleb. Caleb's up and down. He'll disappoint you. He'll burn you. But he'll also pop and win us a tournament every once in a while. What I love about Caleb Williams is he is out there slinging it. They are attempting a lot of passes most games. Caleb had a decent performance against the same Lions team. There's not much running back action going on for this team. So I think Caleb's a solid starting point for a lineup this week. He's very, very easy to stack. It's inexpensive. So that's how I want to go. We're going to start him off with Caleb, but let's talk through some of the other available quarterbacks here. Anthony Richardson, equally a pretty good play. I think at 5,400, does not do a whole lot via the pass, but he gets it done a little bit with his legs. So Richardson, he can have one of those pop games, does not need to be stacked at all. Bryce Young, just not somebody I use in DFS, so I'm not going to change that. Jamo, man, what could have been? What could have been? What could be? Unburdened, but what has been? That's the problem. We don't know. We don't know what could be. We are burdened by what has been because they benched him. What are you doing? What are you guys doing? Don't bench Winston. Had one bad game. We knew he was going to have a bad game. Throw into Pick Sixton. They don't call him Pick Sixton for nothing. You knew what you were getting. I'm disappointed. Who else? Here, Sam Howell. No. Mac Jones. You know what? This guy's been better than, he's not been terrible. Am I playing him? Probably not, but he's not been terrible. Got to give him credit. Des Ridder, no. Rudolph, no. Dorian Thompson, whatever, no. Maybe Penix. We got to get the Falcons to bench Cousins already so we can see what the Penix can do. But for now, no. And it's a no for Cousins as well. It was such a no for Cousins. I didn't even see his name there. I just went right past it. So we're going to start us off with Caleb Williams in this one. And then, of course, the first thing I'm going to do here is just click on the auto start of Jahmyr Gibbs as a benefit and as a bonus. It also works as correlation with this Caleb lineup. So that's a little extra, something beneficial. So we get the bring back piece, but we're starting with Jahmyr Gibbs. But let's talk through the entirety of the running back group. And of course, Saquon Barkley is a great play. Always expensive, sure, but great. Has not gotten as much work the last couple games. You saw a lot of Gainwell. I don't like seeing that. What's Gainwell doing in the game? What's 3 targets, 7 attempts? What's this about? Right? That was going to Barkley. I think they're taking it easy on Barkley to keep him healthy for the playoffs. That's not good. We don't want that. We're fantasy football. I don't care about the playoffs. I care about this week and my money. So I don't like what I'm seeing. Bijan in a great spot against the Giants. Loves it. Chase Brown, somebody I want to play every single week. I love this guy as well. When has he had a bad game? The answer, hasn't. It's always been a good game. He's in a smash spot. Come on. We got to play one of these guys. Bijan, Chase Brown, they're amazing. These are great spots. James Conner, spectacular. I love it. Even James Cook, very playable here. My goodness, Jonathan Taylor, do you guys see him just dropping the ball? Like, I don't care. I don't want a touchdown. I'm just going to drop it on the floor because I'm cool. Yeah? That should go down in the history of dumb fuck plays. Okay? Jonathan Taylor, you are officially a dumb fuck for what you did. Dumb fuck. I said my piece. These are all good spots. Chuba Hubbard at home against Arizona. I mean, again, Chalky Chuba burned some people last week. I tend to think I'm not going to play him now. I feel burned from last week, and I have post-traumatic stress from it. Garendo, also very playable here. No worries. got the volume, got the targets last week, didn't get in the end zone. Tough game. Team lost. It was disgusting. 6-12, just an ugly, ugly game overall. So that's why it didn't work out for Garendo, but no other reason. Yeah, there's a lot of great. It's funny, as mid as the quarterback matchups are, there's a lot of really good running back matchups. It's really just a question of affording these guys. Aaron Jones is really interesting in this spot here at 6,400. I think it's playable. He 18 carries, bunch of targets last week, got the volume. His volume's all over the place, and that's the problem. But the big game is coming. 6, 12, 18, 24. He's been getting you 18s, got the 24 in there. So I think he can get it done. Brian Robinson Jr., no. Breece Hall, man, it's not a bad matchup for Breece Hall, but the volume is all over the place. So tough to trust. After him, it gets really gross here at running back. Charbonnet, no, right? Maybe, but probably not. Ramondre, tough matchup. I'm not interested in that one as a massive under. Remember, when I say tough matchup, I want favored running backs primarily. I want heavy favorites, not too favored, but favored, right? We want the running back on the favored team. That played out on the 3-game slate or the Monday night 2-game slate. You want the favored running backs as often as possible. Yeah, Travis Etienne, no. You got it. Actually, look at that work. You know what? That is interesting. He did get some work last week. 14 carries, 5 targets. Let's see what they gave to Bigsby Smalls. 11 carries. So, less for Bigsby than Etienne, but not by that much. It looks like Etienne may be the lead back again. One more name here, and this is not a favored running back, but somebody that I think is interesting is Jerome Ford. They lost Nick Chubb. I would call that what we saw with Nick Chubb. Unfortunately, that was a career ender. We probably won't be seeing Nick Chubb again. So, yeah, it's Jerome Ford's backfield for now. There's really no one else there. Pierre Strong. I can play that guy too much. So I think we'll get a heavy workload from Ford. The problem is DTR is terrible. The Browns are terrible. And with no Jammo, it ruins it. It ruins it. Tracy, no, not with the Giants. Also, the Giants are rolling out garbage at quarterback. So the running backs don't have success when the quarterbacks are shit. Write that down. Rule of thumb on the computer. The running backs don't do well when the quarterback is shit. If you understand that, you won't play running backs that have shit at quarterback. It's a DFS rule of thumb and fantasy football. Just always know that. All right, let's move on to the wide receiver group for NFL Week 16. And we'll start at the top and roll our way down the list. We'll talk them through. We'll figure it out. Get started with Jamar Chase. Again, non-competitive matchup. Could he get it done? Sure. Is he likely to get you a 44 or one of the scores that we need from Jamar to break the slate? I would say no, not in this spot. Justin Jefferson also very much tied into what's going on in Seattle, who the quarterback is. If it's Geno, then all systems go. Competitive game could happen. If it's Sam Howell, then I'm going to assume it's not a competitive game, and I'll be less interested. It's not that I think Justin Jefferson isn't great. He is, but a 20 ruins your lineup. Like, he needs to get, at this price, at least a 30 plus. Which is very doable, and he can easily get there, but it's not a lock button. Puka against the Jets, yes, definitely someone I'm interested in. Amon-Ra against Chicago, maybe as well. If that's a competitive game, I think we already got Gibbs in there, so we'll figure out how we're going to do our stack here with Caleb, but Amon-Ra is going to be too expensive with these two running backs, I would assume. A.J. Brown, somebody that I only want to use with Jalen Hurts. Terry McLaurin, yeah, he's been great. So good last week. His best game. 26, 27, 24, 20, 20, 23, 18, 17, 24. This guy's been spectacular. What a season. He started off down in the 5Ks. He's climbed up to a $7,200 player. Impressive. By the way, on that note, I think we'll see Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs already got the price hike this week, but I think we'll see Gibbs up in the 8K range as soon as next week. So we're getting a bargain discount on Gibbs at that price. Yeah, Devontae Adams, can we go right back to it? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. This guy gets double-digit targets every freaking week, and he's heating up. He's let's call it, he's in sync with his quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, right now. So there's nothing not to like about Devontae. I also like Tyreek Hill here at 6,900 with no Waddle. They're going to have to throw more to him. The other guy is Jonnu Smith, but I mean, they're going to have to throw to Hill. They just have to, right? No Higgins for me. Jerry Jeudy, no. Garrett Wilson's playable. Cooper Kupp with the donut last week. Wait a minute. Cooper Kupp. Look, this guy, okay? I have him in 4 of my freaking playoff teams. You know what happened to them? They all lost. A 0? A freaking 0?
How dare you?
How do you do that to me, bro? I thought we were tight. The first week of the fantasy playoffs?
Go yourself. Is that clear?
I don't know. What more can I say? It's annoying. They did bring his price down appropriately, and hey, we'll see. But, you know, he's going to have to do a lot to earn my trust back. I'm like a jilted lover. He's going to have to do a lot to earn that trust back. Might not be earnable back. Those teams, they don't have any chances anymore. They're out. They're out of the playoffs. You give me 0 when all I need was a 2 or a 3 or a 4. Unbelievable. And to make matters worse, his brother, Amari, also got a 0. Both of them? The Cooper brothers? Unbelievable. Really did a number on my playoff teams. All right. I've lost my train of thought. Where am I? Oh, yeah. Back to it. The Cooper brothers both got 0s. Why do I have so much exposure to them? My best ball teams? First week of the playoffs? Out. Done. But we got a few teams left, so we're okay. All right. Moving on. Yeah, Drake London. Sure, why not? Against the Giants. You know, doesn't really stand out. I don't think it's going to be a competitive game again, so it's not a game I'm targeting, but that one's okay. One guy I do like a lot, though, is Brian Thomas Jr. And the reason I like him a lot is because this dude is getting peppered with targets. He's such a talent. Even with Mac Jones or whatever, this is the guy you want in your lineup. That's right. Just click it. Click it. That's it. All good. Malik Neighbors, don't know who the quarterback is. JSN, don't know who the quarterback is. Khalil Shakir, probably expensive for the role, so I'm going to avoid it. Devontae Smith, good with Hurts only. Jacoby Myers, don't know who the quarterback is. If it's AOC, then I'm interested. If it's going to be Des Ridder, I'm not interested. So we're going to have to wait on that one. DJ Moore. So we got Caleb Williams as our quarterback. Let's see what DJ Moore did last week. 8 for 8, 15 fantasy points. By the way, one amazing thing about DJ Moore is he catches everything you throw to him. They've targeted Keenan Allen just a bit more, and that's kind of why things are skewing that way. But DJ Moore can pop at any time. So with Caleb, I definitely want 2 of his pass catchers. And let's just plug in DJ Moore here and see what the other ones cost and go for in a second. Let's continue looking at these wide receivers, though. Juwan Jennings, tough matchup, but he's been really good. He's been the best wide receiver for the 49ers this season, so we'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, Adam Thielen also, a bit of a disappointing performance last week, but not terrible. Not terrible. He's still in the same realm, and I think he's very playable again this week. He will absolutely be in my mix. DK Metcalf, again, let's check who the quarterback is before we worry about him. If it is Geno, I'm interested. Even this crappy scores and all the shit that he's been doing aside, and when I say, it's just not been great. 5, 9, 10, 9, 14, 19. Where are the big games? It just hasn't been there for him. but he's now priced so cheap that it's actually appropriate. At 5,500 and he's averaging 15 points, that's 3x. That's a value for this player. This was a 7K guy. I do like Jameson Williams a little bit here in the sense that the Bears have an elite CB1. That person will probably be on Amon-Ra, which will potentially shift some looks over to Jamo Williams. So we'll see about that. Marvin Harrison, playable. Maybe not a special play, but playable here at this price as well. But here we go. Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen gets so many targets. 13 last week. When Caleb is having a good game, it's usually because Keenan Allen is heavily involved. So I kind of like the idea of double stacking Caleb, and you could get him with Moore and Keenan Allen here. That would be ideal. Let's continue to look at these wide receivers, though, and see if anybody comes in that's low cost that also maybe is interesting. Yeah, I mean, Rome Odunze, he also had 7 targets, didn't get it done. Michael Pittman's been okay. He's an acceptable pairing with Richardson. So is Josh Downs. From here, maybe Coleman with Coleman's all right. Leggette's not going to play. Patrick, no. Damari, no. Douglas, right? None of this. Coker, whoa. Coker with the big game last week. Coker might be of interest down here at this price. With no Leggett, Coker's going to be in that game quite a bit. So we'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, that should do it for now. So let's jump over to defense. There's so many defenses in play. I want to see if one standout one that we could pay down for exists, but there are a ton of defenses in play for NFL Week 16 because of all these backup quarterbacks that are happening. So let's see. Patriots at Buffalo? No. Bears at home against Detroit? No. Browns? No. Giants? No. Jets? No. Maybe Jets. I don't like it, but maybe. Titans at the Colts? Playable at 2,600. Every time, no, look at this number. This is an important number. So I don't always use this, but for defenses, the fantasy points allowed by the opposing team is really important. Teams that are giving up points to opposing defenses continue to do so. Like the Titans last week that gave up a ton of points all season long, and then they got smashed by the Bengals. And people said, Kev, why are you playing the Bengals? They're not a good defense. I don't care about the defense. If Will Levis is the quarterback, then I want to play the team that's playing them. Similarly, if Dorian Thompson-Green or whatever is the quarterback for a team, I want to play the defense going against. If Des Ridder is playing quarterback, I want the opposing defense. That is just the math. I want defenses that are going up against turnover-prone, bad, or inexperienced quarterbacks. Those are the defenses that put up 20+. I don't care about them limiting the team to 3 points or 7. We want turnovers and pick sixes. We're going to run the pin six, run a pick six. All right. So anyway, where were we? Panthers, no. Titans, maybe against Richardson. Richardson is a turnover machine, and this is a cheap price for a defense, so I can go for that. Let's see what else. Raiders, Jacksonville. I'd rather have the Jacksonville side of that, which is crazy that they're 2,900. Commanders, no. San Francisco, no. Right? So after Titans, and Titans are acceptable, but not great, but acceptable. The next defense to look at would be the Jaguars against, they're on the road, and that's not a great spot, but they're on the road at the Raiders. Just the Raiders, with Des Ridder are terrible. So if it's AOC, I like it. I don't really like it. Colts also, the Titans are now going to roll out Mason Rudolph. He is not bad. He's not better. He's not good, but he's not as bad in terms of his turnover reputation as what Will Levis is. Will Levis is worse in the sense that he is just giving up the ball 2 or 3 times a game, multiple turnovers. So it's less good of a play than it would have been. Still, 3K, not bad. Eagles, playable, but not exciting. Cardinals, playable, but not exciting on the road. Bengals against Cleveland, this is the spot. this is the spot. Now, I don't have the salary for it, but if they're rolling out Dorian Thompson-Green or whatever the hell his name, what the fuck's his name? All right, I need to learn it. Dorian Thompson Robbins. Who's the green? I don't know where I came up with that. Dorian Thompson Robinson. Okay. DTR. We're going to call him. If they're rolling out DTR, does he run the football? Yeah, he runs a little bit. Could this be a playable quarterback? I don't know if I can go there. Can we play DTR? Nah, maybe. Probably not. Anyway, where were we? Defense. Here we go. Lions at Chicago, playable, right? Vikings at Seattle, backup quarterback, maybe. Very much in play. Bills at home, sure, why not? Falcons, most definitely. But what I'm going to roll with here is I need to go inexpensive. I'm going to go Titans. I don't love it. I don't love it at all, but I don't have much choice. Now, in order to make a lineup work, as you can see here, we don't have enough salary to make it work. So I'm going to go to the tight end position, and I already know some adjustments I'm going to be able to make later, but let's just talk through the tight end group, and then we'll make the final adjustment. We're going to have to drop one of our expensive wide receivers to make this lineup work. But first, let's look through the defense, and Brock Bowers has been great. But again, if it's going to be the backup Des Ridder, then it's a no, right? That's not good for him. If it's AOC, I'm back on board, but I don't know as of right now. So we're just going to leave it alone. McBride also, he's been really good just in general, 15, 12, 14, 10. The target numbers are insane in the last month. And quite honestly, Kyler Murray looks his best throwing it to McBride. That's when he looks his best. Don't ask me why. It just is what it is. Kittle, yeah, does not need a ton of targets to get it done. And, you know, he'll continue to operate that way. Jonnu Smith with Waddle possibly sidelined this week. Jonnu definitely in line for a massive pile of targets. I love how they're using him. Like, he's elevated to an elite. Isn't it going to be funny? We're all going to draft this guy next year in the top 6 or whatever. And then he's, you know, he can just go back to obscurity out of nowhere. And there's no reason for it. It's just how tight ends go. Hawkinson at Seattle. Yeah, it's fine. Laporta had a big game. I was very high on Laporta last week. It did pay off. He had a great game, a great performance last week. Hunter Henry, Kyle Pitts down here, nothing special. Cole Kmet is somebody that can be paired up with Caleb. You know, Cole Kmet does not have, he's all over the place. 3, 10, 3. I mean, it happens all, you know, with him. 11. He'll get these random double-digit target games, but most of the time, it's a whole lot of nothing. I think we have to consider Brenton Strange this week. All those targets. He's got a similar matchup in the sense that the Raiders are terrible at defending the tight end position. So I'm going to roll in with Brenton Strange at 3,500 in this lineup. We've got $1,200 we need to shave. So how are we going to accomplish that? Unfortunately, Devontae, you got to go. We're going to put our man Keenan Allen back in here in Devontae's spot. We got 5,900 for the flex. We should be able to get a decent player for the flex. How about, yeah, we can roll with Juwan Jennings here. It really doesn't matter. I could go, I mean, again, Myers is somebody I need to see who the quarterback is. Smith, no. Ridley, no. I'd really love to get, you know, I'd love to be up here, but we're not going to get there. Is anybody down the list? I mean, I could go Jameson Williams as well for more back and forth action. Yeah. You know what? How about we do that? No, I'm not doing that. Let's spend it. Let's just go Juwan Jennings. He's been really strong this season. Spend the full cap. All right. Let's sum it up here. NFL Week 16 first look lineup. We're going to build a stack with Caleb Williams, and we're stacking him with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Keep it in mind that we can mix in Rome Odunze in these types of stacks as well. At running back, we've got Jahmyr Gibbs, no longer burdened by Montgomery. Montgomery gone, Jahmyr Gibbs, the full workload core play, right? Then we've got Chase Brown in a smash spot against the Browns, who have the backup quarterback in there and are massive underdogs. So Brown is a massive favorite. Gibbs as the bring back to the Caleb Allen Moore stack. Standalone play with Brian Thomas Jr. as well as Brenton Strange. So a couple of pieces from the Jaguars here. Interesting how that came about. Juwan Jennings in the flex right now. This is a flexible spot. Could be a lot of different things. We'll plug it in with Jennings right now. And Titans defense going up against a turnover-prone Anthony Richardson. That's going to do it for the DraftKings NFL Week 16 main slate first look. Good luck this week, everyone. Helmets up. I will see you guys back here on the DFS Army channel for tournament tactics and the showdown breakdowns and a special 2-game breakdown coming up on Saturday. So we got a lot of action here. Stick around. Helmets up, everyone.
Big time. No man, diamonds in my teeth. I got a lot of shine.